Ladies and gentlemen, Qualcomm and National Tsinghua University welcome you to the Honorary Doctorate Conferment Ceremony for Dr. Irwin Mark Jacobs. Please welcome the National Tsinghua University delegation to the stage. Liu Fu Xiaozhang, Senior Vice Chancellor, University System of Taiwan. Chen Jiaoshou, Vice President of Global Affairs and Professor. Jiang Jiaoshou, Dean and Chair Professor. Li Jiaoshou, Secretary General and Professor. Su Jiaoshou, Chair Professor of Computer Science. Feng Daxuan Fu Xiaozhang, Senior Vice President of Global Strategy, Development and Evaluation. Zheng Keyong Yuanzhang, Professor and Dean of the College of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science. He Chenhong Xiaozhang, President of National Tsinghua University. Please welcome the Qualcomm delegation to the stage. Dr. Zhen Qieye, Staff Engineer and PhD recipient from National Tsinghua University. Dr. Rowan Chen, Senior Vice President, QCT Global Operations and National Tsinghua University alumnus. Dr. Tamar Elkalez, Vice President, Learning and Organization Development. Dr. Dan Sullivan, Executive Vice President, Human Resources. Dr. Jim Thompson, Executive Vice President, Engineering. Dr. Don Rosenberg, Executive Vice President and General Counsel. Steve Mollenkopf, Qualcomm Chief Executive Officer. Please welcome Dr. Irwin Mark Jacobs to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Qualcomm's Chief Executive Officer, Steve Mollenkopf.
Well, welcome everyone. It's my pleasure, actually, to welcome you here to Qualcomm, and it's a great celebration that we get to participate in tonight. I also want to welcome Dr. Jacobs and Mrs. Jacobs to actually the Jacobs Hall, which is, so I have probably the easiest job of the night. I get to introduce Irwin Jacobs to Qualcomm. So, but the founder of a company and a person like Irwin really needs no introduction. And for the many people who have been touched by him, many of them here, and internationally, it's a great honor to participate here in this event. We have actually I think, as of right now, 101 graduates from Tsinghua University. We will soon have 102 in a few minutes, and so we have a great participation, and we're very, very pleased to be here. With that, I will say that I think that we have 32,000 employees, and we owe a lot to employee number one. And so it's a great honor for us to participate in this, and a great celebration. I think this is the first time this stage has been used for this purpose, and couldn't have been used for a better purpose tonight. So With that, I'll get out of the way, and it's just a great pleasure to be here, and welcome. So with that, let me introduce the president of Tsinghua University, Dr. Hong Ho Cheng. Dr. Hong? Please. Thank you.
Dr. Jacobs, Mrs. Jacobs, Mr. Melenkopf, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm very honored this afternoon. I represent the entire community of my university, students, staff, and faculty, to bestow the greatest honor of our university to one of the most remarkable individuals in the world, intellectually, entrepreneurially, and last but not least, morally. That individual is Dr. Irwin Mark Jacobs, founder of Qualcomm and holder of National Tsinghua University's Honorary Distinguished Chair Professorship. The successful life story of Dr. Jacobs needs no further elaboration here. From what I can learn about his life story, he seems to be an individual who never had a bad day in his life. Whatever and whenever he touches, it will turn into gold. Often, that is literally true. My colleagues tell me that the only day that may be interpreted as a bad day for him was when he mentioned to his future father-in-law that he wanted to marry his daughter, now Mrs. Jacobs. He was met with a challenge. How do you propose to support your future wife? People in the world may view Dr. Jacobs as a truly successful entrepreneur. As a university president, I must say that my colleagues and I are profoundly impressed by how successful he was as an academician. He became a faculty at two of the best universities in the world, MIT and UCSD. At MIT in 1965, he and John Wollstonecraft wrote a book with a less than exciting title, Principles of Communication Engineering. But do not be fooled by the unimpressive title, because this became the Bible of a fast-changing field. Even though the book was written nearly 50 years ago, when communication was at its infancy, it is still today the Bible of the field. This means that the authors profoundly and deeply understand the field then, now, and in the future. One of my colleagues, Dr. Da-Shen Fong, said this last year when Irwin came to our university. You should be extremely pleased about this, Irwin. In fact, as an academic, I cannot think of any book of a highly technical nature that could last this long. For example, in the past 100 years, anytime a good quantum mechanics book was written, such as the one by P. Dirac or Volume 3 of the Feynman Lectures, one could soon find a new book written in a better manner. Here, you have written a book on a subject that is constantly under reinvention. Your book can still not be replaced. That, Irwin, is as close to immortality as you are going to get. Congratulations. My friends, Dr. Jacobs had not only achieved this in life. No, he did more, far more. Then, with Andrew Viterbi, he founded Qualcomm. As we spent this magnificent and glorious California afternoon in the Irwin Jacobs Hall of Qualcomm, any extra word about his entrepreneurial success would be superfluous. Education. Yes, Dr. Jacobs loves and cares about education. He has supported major institutions in the world to help them educate the best talents. Indeed, students are the future of mankind. Quality education and networking the brightest minds light up the lighthouse in the complex world. Dr. Jacobs made enormous contribution to human civilization. If you would allow me, I would also like to tell you a real-life story about him, which my colleagues told me. It was indeed revealing. Even though Dr. Jacobs and his friend, Dr. Kessler, who is also in the audience today, came to Taiwan on Dr. Jacobs' private plane. For some technical reasons, he had to catch a commercial flight to another place afterwards. So on the evening of November the 1st, last year, Dr. Chen, Dr. To, and Dr. Fang accompanied Drs. Jacobs and Kessler to Taoyuan International Airport and saw that they, like normal people, check in the counter. After the check-in, Dr. Jacobs expressed interest to grab a bite before going on board. So they went to a restaurant to get a meal. Then something happened. Dr. Jacobs ordered a $200 NT beef noodle. It's about $6. And a Diet Coke, among other more luxurious choices. I should mention that Taiwan is indeed known for its beef noodles. Yet, when my colleagues saw him truly enjoy the bowl of hot beef noodle and think that this guy not only could buy this restaurant, but he could even buy the entire airport, they suddenly realized that this is indeed a man of simplicity. Wealth did not corrupt him, and deep knowledge did not make him arrogant. It is through such simplicity that he inherently understood the need of humanity and wanted to assist its betterment. My colleagues then had an overwhelming respect for him, not because of his deep knowledge of communication, not because of his great intellect, not because of his wealth, but because of his simplicity, a virtue shared and praised by many great men in the history. As Leonardo da Vinci said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. It is because he is armed with this powerful personality that he was able to achieve greatness. And with greatness, make life not just better for himself, his family, his friends, his communities, and ultimately his fellow human beings. It is for this reason that National Tsinghua University felt deeply honored that we could, after today, claim Dr. Irwin Mark Jacob, one of us. Thank you.
Please welcome Zheng Yuanzhang for the reading of the citations.
The citation reads, National Tsinghua University, on the recommendation of its University Committee on Honorary Degrees, hereby confers upon Dr. Irwin Mark Jacobs the degree Doctor of Philosophy honoris causa. Dr. Irwin Mark Jacobs, a world-renowned electrical engineer, is founding chairman and the CEO emeritus of Qualcomm Incorporated. Qualcomm is an iconic global semiconductor company that designs, manufactures, and markets digital wireless telecommunications products and services. National Tsinghua University recognizes Dr. Jacobs for his pioneering work on code division multiple access or CDMA technology, which is deployed in billions of mobile phones worldwide, and for his outstanding entrepreneurship that created a global wireless telecommunications company, and for his profound respect for education and human dignity. Dr. Jacobs is also the recipient of National Tsinghua University, the Honorary Distinguished Professor, Chair Professorship in recognition of his profound contributions that benefit humanity by increasing communications between people, and his unceasing devotion to the excellence in education. National Tsinghua University hereby confers upon Dr. Irwin Mark Jacobs the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Engineering, honoris causa, given on the 19th day of August in the year of 2014, signed by President Ho Chen. Now I would like to invite Dr. Jacobs and President Ho Chen to the front of the stage for conferment ceremony. Now I would like to invite Senior VP Da Xuanfeng to present the plaque. Yeah, this way. Thank you, Senior VP Fan. I would like now to invite Professor C.K. To to present calligraphy. The 8 characters on the calligraphy are NTHU's motto: eternal self-discipline and ubiquitous social commitment. Congratulations, Dr. Irwin Jacobs now is an alumni of NTHU. So, thank you. Professor To and President Ho Chen, you can please return to your seat. Dr. Jacobs, please come to the podium and for your remarks.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, this is indeed very special. I'd like to thank everyone for being here, and in particular, all of the persons here from National Tsinghua University of Taiwan. It's quite a long way to come for a ceremony, but very much appreciated. So it is quite special, and thank you to all of the Qualcomm folks who are here throughout. People often ask me, when I started Qualcomm, or when the group of us started Qualcomm, did we really ever have a feeling that it would grow to the size and success that indeed it has grown and is still growing? And of course, the answer to that is no, you can't really anticipate that. You start with some projects, you try to come up with some better things, and you just keep working, find very good people to work with, and things tend to happen if you keep pressing hard enough. Well, similarly, when we were planning this auditorium, if anybody had asked me whether we would have a doctoral ceremony from National Tsinghua University in Taiwan here, I think that would have been even less expected than the success of Qualcomm. So, again, thank you, and it indeed is an unusual way to make use of the hall, but it does work very well. Now, the question is how, and you've heard a little bit, but how did I become involved with National Tsinghua University? And it was on November 1st of this last year, 2013, that I was there to give a talk to the campus and meet with students, meet with faculty, and to receive a distinguished honorary chair professorship while I was there. And I must say that whole experience was quite remarkable. It was just very enjoyable. First of all, I'll say a few more words about it, but they have a beautiful campus. And as we drove around the campus, every lamp pole had a hanging note about my talk. And so it was as if someone had said a rock star or whatever was coming to campus, but they really did it exceedingly well. Now, there's some information about National Tsinghua University. Interestingly, it came to its existing campus on Taiwan in 1956, which is interesting because UCSD started in 1960, so there's been a little bit of parallel growth. Of course, National Tsinghua University had roots that went back much further, and they had been founded in Beijing, had moved during World War II, and then had moved to Taiwan. And so there's a bit more history, but it's kind of interesting to look at the two universities, look at the strong support, strong education, strong research in the sciences and in engineering and in turning out very good graduates. As was mentioned, well now maybe 102, but we had 101 graduates from NTHU here. And I was looking at the statistics, and I think 40% of those have advanced degrees. So obviously, you're doing something very right. I've been to many very beautiful campuses in the world, and I graduated from Cornell, which is lovely. I've been taught here at UCSD, which is lovely, but now involved with NTHU, and that campus, I must say, is a little bit unusual. Let me get these straight. If you look at a map, you'll find that there's a mid-lake pavilion on the campus, a watermelon island, a butterfly garden, and then, somewhat like the Stewart Collection here, a number of sculptures and art pieces around the campus. And so obviously, again, a great respect for the arts. And in particular, they have a version of Rodin's The Thinker, which of course is always very appropriate for a university. But they also had a sculpture and some historic information on very good Go players. I don't know how many of you know the game Go, but probably very few. But it's an ancient game and a very difficult game. You know, we have computers that play chess now, not yet any that can compete in Go. And so the human mind is still somewhat ahead of the game. But they were honoring that. And I recalled it because just a few weeks ago, I did read a story about work on a computer program to play Go and how it was being approached in somewhat of an algorithmic but probabilistic fashion, because it's just too many moves to try to go all the way to the end at any point. And so it was rather interesting. But that also recalls some work that is happening here at Qualcomm on working on neural type networks, which in fact may be a way to have them play Go well by training them, winning, losing. So I'll put that out as a challenge to those here at Qualcomm who are working actually on a new chip that's going to have many, many neurons very well represented and a very good operating system. We won't obviously go into the details. Now, Qualcomm has a long history of involvement with Taiwan. I was looking to see my first visit there, and I think it was roughly in 1996, and in fact it was on our anniversary, which is September 19th, because we took a ride around the island to kind of celebrate that. So we did spend an anniversary there. And over the years, there are many Taiwanese companies that have contributed greatly to Qualcomm's success. One, of course, is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, which supplies a significant fraction of the chips that Qualcomm provides to manufacturers around the world to manufacture cell phones. So a very high percentage of the cell phones have chips that are manufactured at TSMC, and that's been a very fruitful relationship, I think, actually, for both companies. And then there are a number of other companies, some of which are competitors, but that's always a good thing as well. And another that makes, actually several that make phones, but in particular HTC, that has been a company that we work with very well. So the roots of Qualcomm do go back very much to Taiwan. Well, we were having dinner last night, and President Ho Chang asked about how you might encourage the faculty and the students at the university to become more entrepreneurial, to be able to think about perhaps helping start companies, to encourage students to go ahead and do that. That's pretty much an interesting issue, actually, in most universities around the world. And I could give a little bit of experience because of the experience of being here at UCSD. For those that might be familiar, my first company I found with others was called Linkabit, and that started as a day-a-week consulting company to handle the large amount of consulting that was being provided or requested when I moved here to California. And so that was one word of advice, is that one should encourage faculty members to go out and consult. There's a very large industrial park, scientific technology park, right near the university, and so there are a lot of opportunities. And when you're a faculty member, you advise students on research, you do your own research, and you can always shape that research. It always helps to have something, perhaps with a practical end in view, to help do that. So that was one suggestion. I can't say that the formation of Qualcomm or of Linkabit really is directly reproducible. Linkabit, as I mentioned, we started in response to many requests for consulting, so we started as a consulting company. But very quickly at Linkabit and then at Qualcomm, although we didn't have any products in mind, we didn't have a business plan, we did know that we wanted to work on innovation, come up with new ideas, new things, try to make a difference, but do it a step at a time and try to set up a pipeline of new products. And so as advice to give to the students and to the faculty, I would say that that probably does work. It won't be the same, obviously, as the direction that we took here, but there are just so many new opportunities in the world. And I'll finish by just noting that these opportunities very much depend now on the fact that there are over 1 billion smartphones sold around the world. It's probably a larger number than that, now going down in price and becoming available to just about everybody. And of course, a smartphone is a very potent computer, very capable, and has all types of sensors. And so the uses for those are very broad. And we've often mentioned that the ability to provide improved education using mobile devices, to provide with many senses improved health care, that there's just about no aspect of our life that won't be touched by this mobile device and communication capability. And so the students, as they look forward, I think just have a very rich world to look forward to innovate, come up with ideas. I hope to get back and be able to encourage them in the future, but I'm sure with your encouragement, some additional great things will be coming out. In any case, thank you very much for recognizing me with the honorary degree. I will hopefully find space on the walls for all of those memories. And thank you, and look forward to seeing you often. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Charles Hsu, Chairman of eMemory Technology.
Okay, Dr. Jacob and Mrs. Jacob and President Hao Chen and Mr. Steve Molenkov. It is really my pleasure to be here, to be on behalf of Tsinghua University alumni to congratulate Irwin to receiving the honorary doctorate degree from Tsinghua University. And I'd like to also welcome him to become one of our distinguished alumni now. And Irwin has been always been my role model of transforming from the professor to entrepreneur. So that's why I also quit my job in year 2000 from the professorship at the Tsinghua University. And I also chose the licensing intellectual property and the technology as our major business model. And Qualcomm has been our partner in the power management IC. And thanks to Qualcomm, we are able to be successful in the industry. And Irwin's innovation in mobile technology has changed the world. And the people getting more connected. And I believe in the next 3 to 5 years, not only people, but also many electronic devices can be connected through mobile communications, such as Internet of Things. And Irwin's innovation in the mobile communication also changed the style of humankind. And people, a lot of mobile communications has brought many convenience to all of us. And Irwin and Qualcomm creation in mobile communication technology, also help Taiwan in developing mobile communication technologies, starting from working with HTC and also other electronic manufacturer companies such as Foxconn and Pegatron and Asus, etc. And so in Taiwan has produced more than 230 million smartphones in 2013. And not only in the smartphone, but also in semiconductor industries. Qualcomm has also helped Taiwan in developing the technology in the semiconductor industries. As Irwin said, Qualcomm has a strong partnership with TSMC, and actually Qualcomm is the #1 partner of TSMC. And about 30% of TSMC's productions actually is Qualcomm related. And also Qualcomm is also the top 3 procurement from Taiwan in the past few years. So with all of this, I'd like to thank you, Irwin and Qualcomm, for helping Taiwan in the IT industries. And I'd like to also congratulate Irwin again for the receiving of the honorable doctorate degree from National Tsinghua University for his significant contribution to the world. And finally, I'd like to welcome him become one of our distinguished alumni. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Qian Yuanshi, University Professor, University of California, San Diego, and Honorary Professor, National Tsinghua University.
Dr. and Mrs. Jacobs, Mr. Malenkoff, and the delegation from Qualcomm, President Ho Chen and the delegation from National Tsinghua University, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure and privilege to participate in this august event honoring Dr. Irwin Mark Jacobs. I would like to say a few words of thanks to Irwin and Jung Jacobs. At UCSD, faculty and students, particularly those in engineering and medicine, are grateful for your generous endowment of the Jacobs School of Engineering and the exciting new Jacobs Medical Center, which will benefit most people, all people in San Diego for their health care. You have promoted the interaction between these disciplines by helping the Institute of Engineering and Medicine and the Qualcomm Institute, CalIT, and made many valuable advices for entrepreneurism to our faculty and students. Thanks to your outstanding leadership and vision, you formed Qualcomm that is developed into world's leading wireless communication company and beyond, and have fostered valuable industry, academia, cooperation. Every citizen in San Diego has benefited from your generous support of everything that's important for our quality of life. That includes sports, library, theater, opera, music, and art. You have enriched our body, soul, and heart. Your global influence extends well beyond San Diego, as exemplified by today's ceremony, honoring you with the honorary degree from National Tsinghua University in Taiwan. I would like to express my warmest congratulations as a member of the NTHU faculty a visiting faculty. I did not attend Tsinghua as a student, but my father did. So Tsinghua was his alma mater and is my beloved grandmother, Alma Avia. Now I speak as a member of the Tsinghua family, however junior I might be. Dear Irwin, warmest welcome and congratulations to you in gracing us by receiving the honorary degree from NTHU. Thank you very much.
So I must say at this moment, on behalf of National Tsinghua University, I thank you deeply for coming, attending this conference ceremony for Dr. Irwin Jacobs. Now please join us in the lobby for a celebration reception. Thank you and congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending. Please enjoy the reception.